Don't get me wrong, I love the camera gear that I currently own, but you know what always sounds just a little bit more fun? Getting new camera gear. Unfortunately, the budget for this channel, it's been kind of small recently. I'm in a good place. I don't really want to drop a lot of money on a new camera, new lenses. You know how it is. So it'd be really nice if a camera brand, a camera manufacturer wanted to reach out and be like, Trev, we love your videos. They're so perfect. Do you want to review one of our lenses? And then, yeah, maybe I can drop some new content where I'm using different gear. Wow. It's been well over a year since I got a new lens. Oh, damn. This is it. This thing's so tiny. Yeah, what is this, like 4 inches? Golden Retriever pup for scale? Very tiny, right, buddy? Oh, damn. I guess the rumors are true. Yep, Thypoch sent me a new lens. I know. There's been chatter around the filmmaking space, like, is Trev getting the Thypoch deal? Nobody knows, and yeah, it happened. All right, yeah, well, here it is. This is the Thypoch Simera-C T1.5 Cine lens. This is the 35mm. It's, yeah, just as small as it looks on camera. So that's the obvious immediate attraction to this lens. It's super lightweight. If you're a travel filmmaker, it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. If you're hiking to the top of Mount Everest, you want the lightest equipment possible. But that's what we need to find out in this video. Does the size of a lens really justify the purchase of it? We need to find out what the other factors are that makes people want to buy this lens. And first question I can think of that people might ask is, why not just buy a autofocus lens, a photography lens that you can never risk missing focus, because a cinema lens means you always have to manually focus, set up your shot. Truthfully, I've always used manual focus even if I have an autofocus lens. I have a FUJIFILM. They're notorious for having really bad autofocus, so this was something that doesn't really affect me. I know some people don't want to do this, but if you don't want to do that, then you're missing out on using some really great lenses. My original idea for this video was to actually go somewhere new and film a travel video with it. Just so you know, it really got put to the test of doing what I do on a day-to-day basis for these videos. But I got a puppy recently, so traveling is totally out of the question. Luckily for me, I live in a super beautiful place, and people come here for vacation, people travel here all the time, so it's not going to be very hard for me to make a cinematic video because, I might know a place or two. So what's the game plan? How is this video going to be different from other reviews? Personally, I don't love getting into specs and every characteristic of the lens. I'm just not tech brain like that. I'm more of just a vibes guy, which, might sound dumb, but it's true. So my goal is to film over the course of 3 different days, and on each day hopefully get a shot that I think is good enough for my portfolio. I feel like if I can go out and shoot for just a couple hours each day and get a shot that I think is good enough for my portfolio, then I think that means this lens is something special. Day 1. The most important day. This really sets the tone for everything. If you have a bad first day, you are going to doubt your capability, you're going to doubt the lens, you're going to doubt everything. So we kept it simple. We stayed around my general area. We have a community garden near us. There's a lot of beautiful trees. When the sun sets, the light, makes a lot of very cinematic shadows, good contrast. I was filming myself, I was getting different angles, capturing just the mundane things that I normally wouldn't shoot on a grand scale. The first thing I noticed that I normally don't pay a ton of attention to is how well this lens performs close range to medium range. I felt like it was producing a unique shot that almost gave it a vintage feel. It was capturing a lot of detail in the foreground while also producing kind of like a soft image. And what I really like about that detail of this lens is that it color grades very well for the film look. Sometimes I'll shoot with my current lenses, I'll drop a film emulation on it, throw some grain on there, mess with the contrast, and then I'll just kind of be like, okay, this shot is not working. It doesn't emulate film, it looks way too digital, way too sharp, and then, I just can't lean into that film look. But for this lens, I felt that a lot of my shots looked better with grain and better with kind of a film look. So if you're the type of person who really loves that film look, likes to lean on that, this is a lens that you should probably consider. And so day 1, what was our portfolio shot? We did get one on our first day, which is pretty impressive. So I had never seen this before, but people had hung these kind of like scroll-like scriptures on this very green tree with a lot of like unique branches, and the sun was just hitting it perfectly, producing this beautiful golden light. Like I said, my close-up foreground shot, a lot of detail. You could see every ink stroke on this piece of paper while still having this soft image that has this kind of nostalgic feel to it. The shot doesn't feel super modern, super digital, and that's why I feel like it is worthy of a portfolio shot. It feels like my style, and I just really like the way it looked. Day 2. We got a little more bougie on day 2. We went to this cliff area that overlooks the ocean. Super cinematic, totally my style of travel. So what we're looking at here is kind of, that background separation again. Like, how does this lens look when shooting to infinity, shooting far away landscapes? I would still say that the lens performs better with close-ups, medium range shots, but even far away, I was noticing things like the waves in the ocean, people walking on the sand. Those subjects were super far away, but this lens was capturing detail and dynamic range of the shadows and everything that I normally maybe don't pay attention to, but I was looking extra hard when testing with this. This thing, it popped off. It did its job. And this shot on screen, I'm going to choose as the portfolio shot from this session. I put myself in the foreground right as the sun was hitting the horizon. It produced this really beautiful, warm, red light. And I guess the main takeaway is that when you shoot shots like this, you don't want it to be flat. That has a lot to do with the lighting, but I also feel like these images on screen that you're seeing, these were shot not during any special real daylight hours. I don't know, you guys can be the judge if you think this is a flat image or not. I think it's a pretty three-dimensional image, and I think the lens did a good job bringing the scene to life. Day 3 actually ended up being my most hectic day. I was trying to squeeze 2 locations in, so I went to see this lighthouse and I got some good shots, but I also was, missing some opportunities as well. And then I raced over to kind of this mission style church that overlooks actually nothing special. But I don't know, it's cool. It's a nice change of landscape. And I captured some really nice light here. I don't think I can really say I got a portfolio shot at either of these locations. But one thing I did notice at these locations is I started paying attention to the lens flare that was being created. This lens makes a really nice lens flare. It's unique, it's pretty. The colors aren't too dramatic. They don't totally ruin your subject if you have a subject in frame with the flare. So no portfolio shot on day 3, but there were some secret days of shooting. And that brings me to portfolio shot number 3. And that was a shot of our new puppy, Luca. We went for a nice family walk, and normally I probably wouldn't bring my camera equipment on a walk like this. It's very bulky, it's heavy, we have a puppy to worry about. I don't want to burden us with also worrying about a camera. But because of the convenience of this lens, I was able to bring my camera and capture, a timeless moment, a core memory that, is gonna last forever. And I think that justifies it being our final portfolio shot. So I didn't mean to get all like hallmarky on you guys at the end of this, but I don't know. I think it's a good way to justify getting this lens. The best camera is the one that you have on you, and this lens will definitely make you want to carry around your camera more and film all of life's moments. That was so corny. Yeah, great lens. Love it.